First, welcome to our deep dive on when to schedule your non-immigrant visa interview, especially for employment-based visas like the H-1B. Today we will explore the tension between booking early with projected dates and waiting for your official approval notice, the Form I-797. We will connect the dots between administrative requirements, real-world backlogs, and the risks of mismatched data at the consulate. Next, here is our agenda. We will begin with the context and core dilemma, move into the risks of using projected dates, and then outline the safest best practices. After that, we will visualize your choices with a decision flowchart, share concrete action steps if you must book early, and present an outcomes table plus a timeline. Finally, we will check your understanding with short quizzes and wrap up with key takeaways. Meanwhile, please note this important disclaimer. The material in this video is for educational purposes only and does not constitute legal advice. Immigration situations vary widely, and before acting, you should consult your employer or a qualified immigration attorney who can address the specifics of your case. Now, let us set the context. Due to backlogs and limited appointment availability, applicants often feel pressure to reserve an interview date long before their petition is approved. This creates a timing gap. The system asks for official petition validity dates, but the applicant may not yet possess the approval notice that contains them. Transitioning to the core dilemma. The appointment system requires official petition start and end dates to schedule. For employment-based visas like the H-1B, those precise dates live on the I-797 approval notice only. If you have not received your I-797, all you or your employer have are projected dates from the I-129 filing. However, projections are not guarantees. Therefore, if the appointment is booked with projections and the eventual I-797 dates or receipt number differ, a consular officer can deny the application or require rescheduling due to administrative inconsistencies. Continuing with a visual overview, this flowchart starts with the need for an interview slot. It first asks whether you have the I-797 with final dates and receipt number. If yes, the chart points to booking with official data, which lowers administrative risk. If you do not have it, the next question is whether booking early is absolutely necessary due to backlogs. If it is not, the recommended route is to wait for the I-797 and then book accurately. If it is necessary, the chart shows coordinating with your employer or attorney to use projected dates from the I-129. From there, it emphasizes entering projections with caution and asks if you are prepared to reschedule if dates do not match. If you are prepared, proceed but closely monitor outcomes and update the appointment immediately after approval. If you are not prepared to reschedule, do not book yet. A prominent warning note highlights that mismatches may cause denial or administrative processing. Next, let us analyze the risky shortcut. Prior to approval, the only information you have are projected validity dates from the employer's I-129, commonly a 3-year period starting October 1st, for cap subject H-1B cases. While these projections allow you to grab a slot, they are not authoritative. Processing delays, requests for evidence, and approvals with different start or end dates are frequent enough to matter. Consequently, if your appointment data does not precisely match the I-797 that you ultimately present, a consular officer may deny your application or require rescheduling, costing both time and fees. Now, comparing projections to certainty clarifies the stakes. Projections come from the employer's I-129 and are useful mainly to hold a slot early, but they are inherently unstable. Their risk is high if the consular entry does not match the eventual approval. In contrast, certainty is anchored in the I-797 approval notice, which provides verified dates and the official receipt number. When the appointment data matches the I-797, the risk is low, and the stamping experience tends to be smoother. Moving on, this timeline maps the journey from the employer filing the I-129, where projected dates are initially set, through USCIS processing where delays or requests for evidence may occur. The pivotal moment is the I-797 approval, which finally provides the verified dates and receipt number. The timeline then highlights scheduling or updating the interview appointment with exact I-797 data. At the consular interview, officers verify details against the petition record, and outcomes include visa issuance or potential administrative processing. Booking before approval is flagged as carrying mismatch risk, while promptly updating the appointment post-approval reduces that risk. Therefore, the best practice is straightforward. Wait for the I-797 approval notice. It is the authoritative document that includes the final petition dates and the official receipt number. By aligning your appointment entries precisely with the I-797, you substantially reduce the risk of a denial or a forced reschedule. As a result, you gain peace of mind and a more predictable process. However, if you must book early, implement safeguards. First, coordinate with your employer or attorney to obtain the exact projected dates from the I-129s. Second, document clearly that these entries are projections and not final. Third, monitor your case closely for requests for evidence and timeline shifts. Fourth, immediately upon approval of the I-797, log back into the appointment system and update all fields with the official dates and receipt number. Fifth, build a buffer by selecting a later interview date to absorb potential slippage. Sixth, be prepared to reschedule if any data fails to match the approval notice. Seventh, bring comprehensive documentation to the interview, including the I-797, your DS-160 confirmation, fee receipts, and an employer support letter. Additionally, this table outlines typical scenarios and recommended actions. Booking early without an I-797 requires entering projected dates, which carries high risk and may lead to rescheduling. If the I-797 is approved before the interview, enter the exact dates and receipt number, which lowers risk substantially. If an RFE delays approval, consider postponing or rescheduling rather than proceeding with projections. If approval arrives with different dates than projected, immediately update the appointment to reflect the I-797 and carry the updated confirmation to the interview. Now, a quick knowledge check. Which document contains the authoritative petition validity dates and receipt number for employment-based visas such as the H-1B? Option A is the DS-160 confirmation page. Option B is the employer's job offer letter. Option C is Form I-797, Notice of Action. Option D is the I-129 filing receipt email. You may pause the video now to think about the answer. We will discuss the answer in the next section of the video. The correct answer is C. The I-797 Notice of Action is the official approval notice that contains the verified petition dates and the receipt number. It is the authoritative source that the consulate expects to match against your appointment data. For our second knowledge check, if you booked an interview using projected dates and your approval arrives with different validity dates, what is the safest next step? Option A is to do nothing if the difference is small. Option B is to proceed and explain verbally at the window. Option C is to immediately update the appointment to match the I-797 or reschedule. Option D is to cancel the petition entirely. You may pause the video now to think about the answer. We will cover the answer in the next section. The correct answer is C. As soon as you receive the I-797 with final dates, you should update the appointment to match those details exactly or reschedule if needed. This alignment minimizes administrative risk and reduces the chance of denial at the window. Furthermore, this pie chart conceptually allocates planning focus. The largest portion emphasizes waiting for the I-797 to obtain authoritative data. The second portion highlights safeguards when early booking is unavoidable, such as documenting projections and monitoring for updates. The remaining portion covers contingency planning for rescheduling in case of mismatches. In summary, the I-797 is the single source of truth for petition dates and receipt number. Booking with projections can be a high-risk shortcut. If you must book early, apply strict safeguards and be ready to update or reschedule as soon as the approval arrives. Waiting for the I-797 remains the approach with the lowest administrative risk. Finally, to wrap up, understand what the appointment system requires before booking. Prefer certainty by aligning every entry with the I-797 exactly. If early booking is unavoidable, plan for timely updates and possible rescheduling. And remember to bring thorough documentation to your interview, including the I-797, DS-160 confirmation, payment receipts, and an employer letter. As a creative closing, if this video clarified your approach to visa interview timing, please like, share, and subscribe for more practical explainers. Then, add your experience and questions in the comments so others can learn from real scenarios. See you in the next one.